Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lili Nishmasim Mirossi, Rosmas Mordechai. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Shalom Aleichem. From? Tom's River. Shalom Aleichem. Before I forget, I don't want to forget this. A big mazel tov to our own Avi Factor. His son got engaged. Breakfast sponsors, family Lefkowitz, Lili Nishmas Chai Rezel Bas Rabbi Yeshua Aaron. She's niftera on Chavdal Kislev. This luxurious, fancy breakfast follows the theme that Rebelli stands by. Ein Anius B'Mokem Ashirus. Shoshana, as she was known by. Where's Reb Shimon? Where's he? He's back in America. Shoshana, as she was known by, was a person whose many acts of chesed and mitzvahs she did was done with that rule of Ein Anius B'Mokem Ashirus, where neshama have an aliyah. That's he dropped the breakfast and ran. And it's a nice breakfast. Look at this, it's very cool stuff. I heard that half the stuff is gone already. Rabbi Sai, listen to this. These are the new people that took dafim. There's only 11 daf left to the Masechta. Yosef Stern, anonymous. Yossi Willig, Jonah and Lauren Beebe, Daniel and Gitti Yeager, and Daf Kufay by the Staten Island MDY Chabura. Listen, they all got together, the Staten Island Chabura, and they said, we're going to get a daf together. And these were the dafim available then. There were 14 available. And they asked ChatGPT what to do. Seriously. So ChatGPT said, island is 1 plus 10, 10, 30, 50. That's a total of 105. Take daf kufay. So this is by a chabura that gets together to learn Torah. We call it a satellite location, or maybe we have a better name. Last night, I have to tell you, I'm still in shock. To be honest, I'm like, my head is, I can't get over what happened last night. We have 20, I thought it was 29, I guess 28 locations around Eretz Yisrael. Here, Koyach, 28 locations. And Benny had this idea that we should do a Melava Malka for just the location, not people that are in Eretz Yisrael, just people that are part of locations. And I made a cheshbon last night. Over 500 people show up to this thing. I walk in, I wasn't expecting it, that's why I'm still in shock. The place was massive. It was 2 wedding halls put together. The guy has 2 halls, Moshe Cohen. What is it called again? Amarot Chen. But he has 4 halls. He gave us 2 side by side. The place was massive. And one of the guys from the Shir, Udi Marasha, he's one of the biggest. It said he has a lot screens everywhere, audio, singers. Some of the singers that are from the Shir, good voices. It was unbelievable. Here, let me show you some pictures. And everything was on Moshe Cohen. That's what I'll show you soon. This is the guy that was speaking. This is Moshe Cohen. Food and hall on him. And you had to register to get in. There's people by the door. They said a bunch of people snuck in, but okay, that's besides the point. There's a lot of people there. We danced. Check this out. We had a raffle. We raffled off 3 things: a free room at the Israeli Shabbaton, for a couple, very nice. We had a whole box of MDY merch, and our MDY tablet that costs 1,000 shekel here in Eretz Yisrael. There's a kid who won a raffle a few months ago, $1,000, Mo Landy for doing Chazara. The same kid won the tablet. It's like, how does that work? Here he is. And he comes all dressed up in his red bow tie. It's unbelievable. No, he knows because he has a bitachon. Anyways, I'm serious. I'm in shock. Still in shock. No, it's unbelievable. No, go ahead, guys, for coming there. It's very nice. Really? Good. I thought you had it in May already. All right, so there's a bunch of emails here I need to read. One of them is a response by Satmar Chassid, very nice, how he says the Satmar Rebbe was into Achdus and Fakert and this and that, a whole thing. But I want to tell you something. Right after Shir, when I read, no. Shrag, come here. Well, I'll read it. Shrag. Shalom Aleichem. You're not so new. But what's your name? Lance Solar. Okay, what's this? Oh, yeah. Eye infection. Very super. So, not every time. Yeah. You hold it like that, right? Right. Hold. Your head is in this. Okay, go.
We have Madim.
Fine.
I don't want him to. Well, we'll call him up later. Listen to this. After Shir was over, after I read the email, Shraga comes over to me and he tells me a little speech. And I was like, wow, why did you say it in Shir? So, sometimes, you have an opportunity in life, a rebuttal, whatever. Now, Akash Baruch Hu gave you a second opportunity. So here you go. 30 seconds. Tell the Olam what you told me. Make it juicy though. Exaggerate to all sides. Go, Shrag.
I would be put on the spot like this. I, for years, struggled with Judaism and religion, and past year and a half, I feel like I really became closer to Hashem. And MDY, along with a lot of other people and organizations, definitely helped me with that. I feel like MDY.
Only MDY.
Exactly. Only MDY. I feel like the best way I could put it would be daily gives me a spiritual hug.
The consistency.
The family aspect of it all. And just how Ravelli gives a shir, it makes it interesting. Makes me want to learn more and be more connected. I feel like.
So basically what you're saying is that MDY brought you back to Yiddishkeit, and it's only MDY. Unbelievable. So it's a good thing that there's another guy that only because of MDY, come, get over here. My brother. Shkoyach Shraga. Now, I heard afterwards, that you're the one that writes the Divrei Torah for your family. You write Divrei, and your father calls it because, the famous yeshiva, it's called Torah Shraga. Emes, okay. Chazak ve'ematz, Shkoyach. Oh, hold on. There's another guy here that wants to show off his gun. My brother from another mother. Shkoyach. Wow. Okay. Unbelievable. We had here in the Hebrew a Satmar guy. He comes every single night to the shir. He says, I'm a Satmar Chassid, and it's not his rebuttal. Okay, anyway, Rabbi said we have a long daf today because we also finished a little early because I had to get to Bnei Brak. So we're skipping the emails. We'll do Satmar and all that tomorrow. Be'ez Hashem. David Salomon, dedicated in memory of Avi Moiri, Reb Shmuel Baruch ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv. He's the Masechta sponsor, the one corporate sponsor that we have right now. There's another one coming on soon. Masechta sponsor. Lili Nishmas, Doidi Shlomo Yehuda Zechron Baruch ben Shmuel Chaim Zechron Baruch Sheshakav V'Lomad Kodshim Kol Chayav. Anonymous. Lezeich Nishmas Nachum Tzvi ben David. Sponsored by Skyber Capital in honor of our friends Meir Kovacs Taki and Shamshi Shlavrak for the devotion to Torah study in this year. I'm missing stuff, but I got to say this. I think close to 40 people drove in from Haifa last night. Close to, from Tveria, 30 people. From, I don't even know all the places. It's 28 places. What else was like, Neve Yaakov, obviously, was like, they came with 2 vans or whatever. But Chilkia, but the amount of people, you came all the way from Haifa, all the way from Tveria. It's unbelievable. Joel Gedalius, they probably got home at 2 in the morning or something. Joel Gedalius, Lilu Nishmas, my father, Jack Gedalius, anonymous, Hatzlacha, Baruch Nis, Ubegashmis. Koil sponsors month. Anonymous from London, Parnasa B'Shefa. Only sponsors anonymous. Please down for Shlomo for the world's best dad. Aaron ben Chai Sarah anonymous. Baruch Adli Dai Baruch Tzvin Nisim Ben Shoshana Leah. Vida B'Yom Mechav anonymous from London. Atzlachim B'Parnasa. MDY Art. L'Fur Shlomo Avimoiri Baruch Ben Miriam. L'Fur Shlomo Yonatan Eitan Ben Bashev Bracha. L'Fur Shlomo Mordechai Ben Esther. L'Fur Hayelet Daniel Zev Ben Ayelet Esther. Rabbi Yisai, we're holding by the Mishnah on Daf Sadik Amid Beis. Flatbush. Akiva Ziegler in the front. The son was here in the Beis Medrash on Shabbos. Shalom Aleichem, guys. So, after seeing yesterday, Peretz Chaim. Listen, I just thought something. You said that Peretz Chaim Levin is Meshuga L'Davar Echad. It's better than them being Meshuga. There's a guy that's Meshuga. When you're Meshuga L'Davar Echad, you put all your energy and Meshugas into one thing, into Torah, it's unbelievable. So listen to this. You have an opportunity. Avi Kamiansky likes to say all the time that we're on the ground floor. We're what is it called? The IPO. We're just starting now. Grassroots. No, we're just. You're investing in the beginning of the company. What do you say?
Founder. You're angel investor.
Angel investor. No, you have a better lashon. The seed. Okay, you have an opportunity to open up another satellite location and bring so many people to Torah, be mechazik people. When people get together, the Torah is more enjoyable. Like we have here in the room now. It's so geschmack. It's so, seed investor. You have that opportunity to be a seed investor. Like Peretz Chaim. It's machlokes what it is. Okay, whatever. Givaldik. Okay, so.
The thing is, if you start new satellite locations there for life, then you go into page, those people that from Staten Island, they're going to be in the Gemara as their own satellite location that they have.
Correct. Somebody give this guest a seat. Kosher guy. You want to sit down? What's your name, first of all?
Naftali Wolf.
From where? Wolfish. Naftali Wolf. Shalom Aleichem. Wow. If you want, you come all the way in the front. We have here. Very nice. We're just getting started now. You have the opportunity. What happens? You open up a satellite location. If it works out well and it grows, you have so many schusim in Torah. So many. And it goes la'olam, l'doros. Now, it's not easy. You want to sit over here. You go that way, here. Oh, the guest table. Okay, fine. Very good. Zog, the Heilige Mishnah. That's where we're holding. Yeah, you got the Mishnah? Daf Tzadik Amud Beis. Kol achatoish b'Torah koidmois la'ashamois. Achatos comes before an asham. Chutz ma'asham mitzayra. Besides the asham of the mitzayra. Oh, that's what it is. I knew the name. Naftali Wolfish. I knew it. He is here. We're talking. That's exactly what we're talking about. He is in charge of the retention group in Passaic. He drives the Oilam Meshuga, which is good, right? Sometimes. It's an exaggeration, but you're on top of the guys day in, day out. The schutzim are unbelievable. Anybody can chop that. So the people come over and well, I'm jealous of your schutzim. Anybody can jump in and just start doing. All you need to do is do. I'm giving you opportunities. Be in charge of a retention group, be in charge of a satellite. The schutzim multiply by all these people. Excellent. Zok the Mishnah. Kol achatoish b'Torah koidmis la'ashamis. Achatos comes before an asham. The chatos and asham are very similar, but as we said, a chatos comes for karas. Asham does not come for karas. They both come to be mechaper. Chutz ma'asham mitzayra. The mitzayra who brings a carbon. Here we go. Asham mitzayra all the way on the right. Mipnei shubo al hechsher. He comes to give the mitzayra the opportunity to go out and run a regular life. All ashamois in the Torah, as the pasuk says, maybe we don't have it here, it's on the other charts, but it says kesef shkalim. Now, not to make a mistake, I saw Talmidei Chacham make mistake over here, so we got to say it again. B'nei shtayim doesn't mean like you don't translate it in English. He's 2 years old. 2 years old would mean he's in his third year. He started his third year. B'nei shtayim in Gemara language means started his second year. So he's 1 year old and a day. He's a year old and a day. That's Bnei Shtayim. He's into his second year. He started his second year. Who?
They shun him like he doesn't explain it either. Like he says, it's like
Okay.
he is up.
Because that's what the Mishnah says. So he's like, but you have to just explain. You need 2 shekel. There's a minimum how much you're paying for this. If a guy gives you a good deal and he takes 1 shekel from you, you can't bring that asham. You have to pay 2 shekel.
From the Mishnah and Par here that he has to be a month into the second year.
A month, yeah, it's 13. Yeah, he's 100% right. That's true. That's true. It's 13. It's 13 months. Correct. Chutz masham nazir v'asham mitzayra. When you have a asham nazir and asham mitzayra, shem bayim b'nei shnasan, they're into their first year. In other words, they cannot be 2 years. Vein bayim b'keser shkolim, and they don't cost 2 shekel. Here we go. Where was it? I see, by the way, that my slides over here did not update. Don't know why. Let's see. So here we have a keves that's less than a year old. It's good for Asham Nazar, Asham Tzayra, and it costs 1 selah. No, the thing it changed. No, before it was 2, 1 selah. Now, yeah, because now this is good for Sham Shiv Charufa, Sham Tali, Asham Elois. I don't know, something changed over there. It went up. The age went up also. Kevin's ben Shana v'chodesh. I didn't read it. Okay, it's 13. Once it's 13 months old, then the price goes up to 2 shekel. Slight shekel. So we're discussing that you have to do the avodah of the carbon first. If it's a chatos, it comes before an asham. So too, the eating. If you have a steak, the kohen has the opportunity to eat from a chatos or an asham. He eats from the chatos first. Shlomim shel emesh, shlomim from yesterday, shlomim shel yoim. You have 2 shlomims in front of you. Yesterday's shlomim and today's shlomim. Shel emesh koydim and shel yoim. Yesterday's comes first. Shlomim shel emesh. And Rashi says over here that he didn't shecht it yet, because you would think we're talking about a shechted animal. No, shlomim shel emesh. This is the shlomim from yesterday. You brought it to the base of English yesterday, but you have it here today and you shecht it today. Chatas v'ashim shel hayoim versus the chatas of today. Shlomim shel emesh koydmim. So the Gemara is going to discuss this a little bit. We're going to bring this as a raya, not discuss, but bring it as a raya, so it's kedai to remember. Again, you have shlomim from yesterday, brought it and you didn't shecht it. It's sitting in the pen overnight. And you have the chatas. Chatas comes before shlamim. But since you brought it in yesterday, shlamim comes first. Divi Rebbe Meir. That's Rebbe Meir's sheet. Chacham oirim chatas kedemes v'fnei shi kachi kadashim. A kachi kachim always comes before kachim kalim. V'kulon hakoyanim rishon l'chanish b'achilasan. You could change the recipe. You could do any type of. You could barbecue it. You could grill it. You could cook it. Different types of cooking or roasted. This is a chiddush that you're allowed to bring chulin into the azar. You're allowed to bring spices that are chulin into the azar to help out the food. Truma, and bring spices of truma. The problem with truma would be, what is it called? Right, Mevi Kachim Lidei Psul. You're taking truma that you could eat forever, and you're limiting the amount of days that you could eat it. Now if you do it with shlamim, you could only eat it for 2 days. So you took truma and maybe Lidei Psul. See if I have that. Why would I have it? It was Motzei Shabbos thing. Okay. One of the, and I'll say this again, to sit up there on the stage in front of all these people on a microphone, I couldn't concentrate. It's very difficult, to get into the learning part. Whatever I remember about Peh, I said anything else, to sit and learn and it's a different kind of. I have that problem everywhere, like in the Shabbaton or whenever. That's why I prefer without a microphone. Without it's just it's difficult to learn like that. Anyway, next. Don't use truma. Here, Mefurish in the Mishnah, maybe truma l'dei psul. You're limiting the time that you can eat this truma, going from forever to 2 days. Ibaylu. So that's the Gemara. Tader u'mekudesh. I love this question because the Gemara explains the question in a way that the Gemara never explains it. Halavai, all questions in Gemara would be like this. Tader u'mekudesh. You have a race. You have something that you use all the time, you do all the time, the mitzvahs all the time, like Rosh Chodesh. The oil of Rosh Chodesh happens at least 12 times a year, maybe 13 if there's an Ibri or I don't know. And you have Par Helam Davar. Sanhedrin passing the wrong way, you bring a Par Helam Davar. How often did that happen, if it ever happened? Once in a lifetime versus 12 times a year, so you have the Tader. But the Par Helam Davar is more Kaddish. What comes first? The Tader or the Gdusha? And here comes the explanation of all explanations. Tader Kaidem, should Tader be first? Why? Mishum the Tader, because it's Tader. Oy Dilma Mikudish Kaidem, maybe the Kedusha should become first. Why? The Kaddish, because it's Kaddish. Gewaldig. Toshma, Midim Kaidem Musafim. A tamid comes before the Shabbos korban. V'avagav the Musafim Kedishi. The Tzadik Aleph Amud Aleph. Crazy. 90 daf into Chulin. V'avagav, we're Zevachim. Zevachim, my head is in Chulin. I'm not joking when I'm saying I'm still shocked. I'm like, it took me the first time ever. Usually when my head hits the pillow, I'm out cold. And I was tired yesterday. I couldn't fall asleep. I was like, what just happened? Like, show up. We just started these locations when? Less than a year ago. And there's over 500 people show up. We had some Rosh Hashivas there. I watched the Shir. Not all the time, but every day. Musaf Kedishi. Musaf has more Dusha than Shabbos. I'm sorry. Shabbos has more Kedusha than, no, we're not at Rosh Chodesh yet, than Tamid. You have the weekday Tamid, you do it every single day, and you have the Musaf Shabbos. And so what comes first? Tader comes before Kedusha. Tamid comes before Shabbos, which is more Kaddish. Says the Gemara, and this is the answer over and over and over. Says Taisvis, we have to understand in each and every one, what is the Gemara adding? Same question, same teretz. Oh, the Shabbos Musafim Ahani. What do you mean it's a tamid? And it's like a vachadika carbon. There's no such thing as a weekday carbon. If it's a carbon that you bring on Shabbos, so you just add the Kedusha of Shabbos to the tamid. So now you have a tamid, so it has plus number one, that it's every day. Number two, it's a Shabbos tamid. Why is it any worse than the Musaf of Shabbos? Oh, the Shabbos Musafim Ahani. Shabbos helps the Musaf that you bring that day. It's not going to give Kedusha Yisera to the tamid that comes every day. Next. Same exact question, same answer. Tashma from a different area. Musaf Shabbos Kaidmin Musaf Rosh Chodesh. Shabbos, which is over 50 times a year, and Rosh Chodesh is 12, 13 times a year. What comes first? L'chayra, Tader comes first, Shabbos comes first. Rosh Chodesh is more Kedusha. So that shocked me when I saw it. And Rashi brings this pasuk from Eicha, Kora Olai Moed, referring to Rosh Chodesh. So, because throughout Shas we always learned, and I can't tell you the source, but I just remember Shabbos is top of the top. It's more chashuv than any yontif. We learned it a number of times. Shabbos has more kedusha than yontif. No, it says that the Rosh Chodesh is more chashuv than Shabbos, yet Shabbos comes first. What does the Gemara answer? So Rosh Chodesh adds an element of Kedusha to the Shabbos Musaf. So you have Shabbos, but the Shabbos Musaf has also a little bit of Rosh Chodesh in it. You don't have a raya from there. Great. So you see a very, very important yisoid. You just walk away from shir with this yisoid. That what? That when you have a davar shebekdusha, any davar shebekdusha that you have a carbon, a Shabbos carbon, and you do that Shabbos carbon on Rish Chodesh. So now it's not a Shabbos carbon; it's a Shabbos carbon with a Rish Chodesh added to it. So the Ben Ish Chai says that if you learn Torah on Shabbos, it's not Torah; it's Torah with Shabbos. So you just infused Shabbos into every word of Torah that you did. So it's a whole different madrega. Let's say you get 100 schar for learning Torah on the weekday, you get 500 schar on Shabbos. 1,000 times. Okay, listen, I don't want people to say it's a guzma. He says 400 times. It's 400 times more. It's the Lashon guzma.
They say 5,000.
Oh, you're here. Shalom Aleichem.
Sorry.
The Chassam Sofer says, this is the Americans, the guys in London are not going to like this. He says that when you learn Torah in Eretz Yisrael, you get every word of Torah that you learn here, it's infused with the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. Every mitzvah that you do here is infused with the Kedusha. And here it is. Huh?
If you have a salad or it's like...
Here goes a guy from America. If you have a Tom's River satellite location, and you go in there, yes, Shoimrim.
He's very involved in that.
Are you very involved over there? You're the one in Miyazim Shalom Aleichem Shkoyach. Really?
This is the place to thank Paltio for really all his hard work.
Paltio.
And yes, that he's the
What's his last name?
Schwartz.
Paltio Schwartz Yishkoyach Paltio. Yeah.
And the pizza place for every way to Shabbos, full-fledged.
They did make the whole thing. Oh, the soup. What, don't they do the soup?
That's way to Shabbos. We have pizza for pizza.
Wow.
That's good. And during the week we have every night.
All right, Be'ez Hashem, you guys are going to be the largest ones. I see. There's a lot of. Yavaldik. All right. Says the Gemara, Tashma, Musvei, Be'ez. I'll tell you what. Be'ez Hashem, the Olam from Tom's River is going to move to Eretz Yisrael. We'll all be here together. You'll have your own little Tom's River location over here in Eretz Yisrael.
Bring the pizza here.
Yeah. Okay, you'll be here. What?
They can bring the pizza.
Yeah. Who's that guy? That's Tom's River? What is that? No. That's Valtiel. Oh, he has a fake background because I see the guys are not moving over there. He lives his background. Valtiel Shalom Aleichem. How you doing? Yavali. Chazak ve'emas. Keep on bringing people to Torah. The schusim are unlimited. Unbelievable. Okay.
The whole location is fake. It's the two of them have pizza and soup.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning by them. What do you want from them? Zog the Gemara. After Rosh Hashanah, the Musvi day. Oh, Toshma Musvi Rosh Chodesh, Chodesh Musvi Rosh Hashanah. So the same idea. Nachamol. You have Rosh Chodesh that comes before Rosh Hashanah. On Rosh Hashanah, what comes first? Rosh Chodesh, because it's more often than Rosh Hashanah. I've got the Rosh Hashanah kachah, even though there's more kedusha than Rosh Hashanah. So once again, we have the same answer. After Rosh Hashanah, the Musvi day Ahani. Rosh Hashanah is able to infuse kedusha to its own musaf. The Musaf Rosh Chodesh le'ahani. So you have Rosh Chodesh plus Rosh Hashanah. That's why Rosh Chodesh comes first. So I don't even know the pshat now. I was looking around on Shabbos. I said I gotta look in the notes to find something geschmack that Reb Yosef Widroff wrote, because this is his parak. And I noticed a note that didn't have, like, usually he quotes, it says, Ritva, some Sefer, whatever. It looked like his own Torah. So there's a nice piece over there about how to explain this Gemara about Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Chodesh, and I just like the Tosas that he brought there. I want to say B'Shmoi. He brings the Tosas that says that on Rosh Hashanah you're not allowed to mention the idea of Rosh Chodesh. There's no mention, you don't say in Shemoneh Esrei or anything, you're not supposed to mention Rosh Chodesh. And that has to do with the Pshat over here in the Sugya. It says nice, and you see that Imamish went through the Sugya, unbelievable. It says the Neshama should have an Aliyah. It reminded me of another, the Ashgacha Pratis. I don't think I mentioned enough of the Ashgacha Pratis. To start, the 10th parak of Zevachim is one in every 7.5 years. And he just so wrote the 10th parak of Zevachim, and he was nifted the day before. It's a tremendous Ashgacha, I think. And he wrote it 25 years ago, and hundreds of thousands of people today in America, around the world, are learning from Art Scroll, especially now that they had thousands of downloads, the new Art Scroll downloads, so more people are learning. So is Neshama should have an Aliyah. We had an interesting story, I'll just remind the Olam. There was a Gewaldige guy, his name was Menachem Teperovitz, and he donated Mesechtes Nedarim, I think it was, and he called up Yossi Klein. He's like, I need Saita. I need to be the guy. I want to donate the whole Saita, all the Gemaras to Saita. It's for Muncie. And a terrible thing happened. A 30-something-year-old, young guy, he was in his office, and he was nifter in his office. When? The day that we segue from Nedarim into Saita, I think it was. It was the two Masechtas that he sponsored. Then we found out later it wasn't like he didn't have the money. He was like, he wanted very much to do it, and his neshama went up that day. The in between, as we were Messiahim Nedarim, what's this? Oh, okay. Yeah. What? I don't remember what it is. Nazir inside. Okay, Nazir inside. Maybe that's what it was. Okay. Zog the Gemara. Toshma dover acher. So we know that on Shabbos when you make Kiddush, we say Boyer Pri Agafen, and then you say Mekadosh Shabbos, you make a bracha on Shabbos. Why? It's machlokes Basil Mishamai. We pass it like Basil. They say the wine first. So now it says another reason why wine comes before Kiddush. Birkas hayayin tedira or birkas hayoyim ain't tedira. Because wine is tadir, v'tadir shein tadir, tadir shein tadir, tadir kaidem. We know the famous concept, something that happens more often, like wine. We drink wine all the time, in the time of the Gemara every day. So that comes before Shabbos. Now, what proves, Afagav, the Birkas Hayom Kedisha. You have Kadosh, you have Shabbos, the Brach on Shabbos, and you have wine that's not Kadosh, and wine comes, and wine is more Tadir. So you see that Tadir comes before Kedusha. Of the Shabbos, the Birkas Hayom Bahani, the Birkas Hayom Layahani. What do you mean? You infuse the Kedusha of Shabbos into the wine also. That's why you make it first. Another one, what happens when you didn't have Musaf, you're supposed to have Musaf earlier than the time of Mincha, and it got pushed off into the Mincha time. When does that happen? A lot on Rosh Hashanah, some Chastayra. And I saw that there's a real nidain what to do. I never saw anybody in Shul say, hey, we should have Mincha now. But there are a lot that say you should have Mincha first, before Musaf. This, it's nice, makes a difference, the whole thing, but it's not so posh. So once again, now, Mincha is Tadir, and Musaf is not. So you see that Tadir comes before Musaf, even though Musaf is more Kaddish. So Gemara, the Shabbos, Musaf Mahani, Mincha Layahani. What do you mean? Mincha on Shabbos? Yeah, ask the Mekubalim. Every tefillah on Shabbos is elevated because of the Shabbos. So Ma'ariv on Shabbos is an elevated Ma'ariv, more than a regular weekday Ma'ariv. A Mincha on Shabbos is elevated. So this Mincha, don't look at it as a Mincha. It's Mincha of Shabbos. It's just as chashiv as the Musaf of Shabbos. Plus that it's Tadir, so that's why it wins.
There's something inherent, obviously, that Musaf is more kadosh because it comes because of Rosh Chodesh. It comes because of Shabbos. Mincha doesn't. Mincha comes every day because it's chol.
Right.
Because it comes.
But the Gemara says that the day, the fact that it's the day, gives it more kedusha. I hear you. It's coming only because of this.
Because of this.
Fine.
There's an element.
I hear.
Right, so that's what we're saying. The mincha itself is not mincha, right? This mincha is not a regular.
It's a different mincha. You say bum instead of ba. I had a shiloh because there was a younger kid that davened for the Amid last week, and he said a mincha ba. Was I supposed to correct him? I kind of said it under my breath. Bum. It's like it's ma'akiv, because you say three different ones: boy, ba, and bum. And he said it different. Huh? Whatever. I don't know what it is. I just know that a mincha is bum. What should you do? Should somebody correct something like that?
I'm not going to understand. Whoever doesn't say it doesn't realize that it's three different.
I hear. Toshma, Shlom and Shalemesh. We learned in the Mishnah, if you have the Shlomim that came yesterday and you didn't shecht it, Chaz Vashim Shel Yoin, and at the same time you have a Chatas, an Asham of today, Shlom and Shalemesh Chaydim. You shechted the Shlomim, do Shlomim first. So the Gemara is what if they all showed up the same day? You have a Shlomim and a Chatas that showed up the same day. Chatas Vashim Kadi. Of course, the Chatas comes first. V'avagav the Shlomim Diri. Shlomim comes more often than a Chatas. More people bring Shlomim as an Adava than a Chatas. So, you have the Tadir versus the Kaddish. One is Chatas is Kachi Kachim, Shlomim is Kachi Gal. But Shlomim comes before the Kedusha. Why? Because it's more often. So you see, more often comes before Kaddish. Amar Rava Motzik Amers. You're telling me something that's more common? I'm talking about tadir. So he makes a distinction between common and tadir. There's something called tadir that the Torah says, do this X amount of times. Shlamim, yes, it's more common, but the Torah doesn't tell you to bring shlamim. If you feel like bringing shlamim, you bring shlamim. But a chadis you have to bring. A asham you have to bring. In certain situations, if you do a chet, you're mechal Shabbos by mistake, you bring an asham. You don't have a choice. That would be tadir. Not the fact that there's more of them and because more people do it. You don't have to make him a zionist, or maybe some people I saw say going to the bathroom, that child that we had, going to the bathroom, or you have to go to the bathroom halachically. If you feel the urge to go, then you have the isser to hold it in, so you have to go to the bathroom. But you don't have to eat at that moment. Okay. Huh?
Marsha had the same answer about your Kasiyah.
The what?
That's matzah, not touch.
Okay. Yeah, but the Gemara is going to argue this. You're saying, why didn't Rav ask it over there? Something that's more frequent is not what we're dealing with. He asked the question. Why not? So there's a brisa. There's a brisa that says, interesting halacha. Everything in the Torah that you chayv karas on, if you do it by mistake, you have to bring a karban chatos. There's two things that are an exception: Mila and Pesach. So on that, the brisa says, "Oitzis Pesach she'enoi tader." Maybe it's not true. Maybe only one out of the two doesn't have to bring a chatos. Why? Let's take out the Pesach. She'enoi tader. So the oitzis Mila shidira. Let's focus on the Pesach. It's not as common. Where Mila is more common. So the Gemara answers, so you see Nachamal, that what? That Tadir comes before Kedusha. Pesach has more Kedusha, and Mila is more common. So the Gemara, no, my dear b'mitzvahs. The Tadir by Mila doesn't mean it's more common. What the Brisa meant to say is that it's in the Torah. It's mentioned 13 times in the Torah. So the Torah put a bigger emphasis on it. That's why it should come first. So you don't have a raya against Rava that it's more that we don't go by matzui. If you compare Mila to Pesach, there's so many more Milas than Pesach that it's in a different league. But over here, by Shlamim and Chatos, there's not that much of a difference. Yeah, there's more Shlamim and Chatos, but it's not as much as Mila and Pesach. So this got the Olam in Bnei Brak, what's the word? Riled up. I asked him a question. I still don't know the answer, though the people are screaming all over. What is more common, Mila or Pesach? The Gemara says, Mila, there's no comparison. If you do, I did simple math. How many boys do you have, Donnie? 4 boys. Leonardo, 4 boys. So in your lifetime, you did 4 brisim. Now, and how old are you? 48. 48. So let's say you should have brought 35 carbon Pesachs. Now, yes, you don't have to bring the whole thing. You'd be part of a group. But it seems like there's more carbon Pesach than Mila. Why does the Gemara say there's more Mila than carbon Pesach? Yes, in Klal Yisrael, every day there's a bris. And tomorrow, a good friend of mine, the Freilichs, has Einikol, there's a bris. But you're not part. You're part of it, but it's not your mitzvah. There's one mitzvah in that whole bris. 100 people, one mitzvah. So what? What? The mitzvah says there's more carbon Pesach.
No. The more Mila.
On every Pesach, how many carbon Pesach?
Today is Pesach. Today.
Not today. In the time of the.
That's the point.
No.
How many brisim are today are being?
No, they're not. There's a million carbon million milas a year. How many milas are there a year? How many milas are there a year? Tell me the answer. How many kids are there? How many kids are born a year? And half of them are girls, and half of that is Mila. And on Erev Pesach, there's millions of carbon Pesachs.
Because you have to do it as a chabura. You have to do it as a family.
Answer the question. The question is, what's more common? What is more common? Okay, so that's why everybody does this. No, what's matzah? No, why is it more matzah? The carbon Pesach also, you have to bring more carbon Pesach. Oh, that's the best we could come up with in terms of days of the year. The days of the year. It's spread out more. It's 365 versus 1. But how many more times? So who says it goes by days? Since when is Tadr a day? We always say the type of mitzvahs.
Concept. Okay.
Anyways, there's a Rosh Yeshiva at the thing over there from the Sivas Olam.
Yeah.
He came over to me. Afterwards, he says that, he said in the name of Rav Shteiman, and today is Rav Shteiman's yard site. He said, and I forgot, I wasn't listening exactly to what he was telling me. Because he said, could I tell you a Vart? And there's a line of a lot of people that wanted to say hello to me, and I didn't let people take pictures. I said, keep on moving. And he says, could I tell you a Vart? I said, the Rosh Yeshiva, he says, I'm a Rosh Yeshiva. And I said, okay, but I have to say hello. This is a small Vart, white beard, the whole thing, the frack. And then I chapped, he was trying to answer my thing. You didn't say I have it. He says, they asked Rav Shteiman, tzitzis, or I forgot what the other thing is, which was a little shocking to me. He says, Rav Shteiman said, tzitzis comes first. Why? Because tzitzis is tadir. Every minute that you're wearing it. So what he tried to say, the Rosh Yeshiva, is the bris milah, every minute that you have a bris, you're making like David HaMelech said, okay, some guy in the audience also screaming that up. Okay, bye. Screamed it out.
Very good.
Scream.
No.
Iboilu. Weiter. Hello, every time you say weiter, you cost Ariel time because he has to put the thing in and weiter it. Iboilu, Todir V'Sheni Todir, V'Kodim, V'Shochad L'Sheni Todir. Question Rabbi say until the Mishnah. Almost. Again, what comes first? You have something that you do all the time, the Todir, and you have something that you don't do all the time, and you went ahead, V'Kodim, V'Shochad L'Sheni Todir. You did the wrong thing, you shechted the wrong one. Should you continue performing the avodah or not? You shechted it. Keep on going. What is that called, Rabbi Sai? Once you do a mitzvah, keep on going. Yeah. Oh, the Olam love this ma'isa. You guys heard it, but I gotta say it again. Had a guest on Shabbos, and I do kiddush, and as I always do, I give my wife, and then I give to the guest. And I say, pass it on to the next guy. Like, let's get to the end. So he looks at me. He downs it. I'm like, what happened? Mavirin al mitzvahs. I said, he's not right. It's my wine. It's my wine. I told him what to do with the wine. I said,
otherwise he would be
okay. I said, take this wine and go weiter. What do you don't take my wine and do a mitzvah on my cheshvan. It's mine. I own that cup and I own the wine inside. I told you to give it to him. Okay, so you have to know when to say it, when not. Do not do it in my house because the mice is the guy to find another meal somewhere. It was the whole thing.
No, he didn't. What's we say? He doesn't have to leave.
He didn't have to leave, but I dragged him out. What do you do? Because he shechted it, so you can keep on going. Ooh, I have to remember. They did a lot of stuff here. Yeah, a lot of videos I'm missing. Yeah. Woo! My head is... First of all, which one am I looking for? I don't even know where. Oh, the Memaris. Yeah, this is the Memaris. Memaris is this, Rabbi Isai. Maybe you should just have a kayan mixing the blood so it doesn't congeal. Meanwhile, take care of the tamid, let's say. The one that's tadir. This one, I forgot to show. This is the giving out. Is that, do we say this Mishnah? No, not yet. Woo! The one in the waiting room. Oh, the one in the waiting room is like a repeat, but okay. It's a little bit different than what we did already. Here we go.
קורבנות אשם, נא להמתין. מספר 212A, גש לדלפק.
אין לי את כל היום. לא יאומן. אני 225, אין לי את כל היום פה. אז תדבר איתם, לא איתי. דיברתי, הם אמרו לחכות. התור שלי היה ב8:30. עכשיו כבר 9:15.
חצוף, יש פה תור.
תיקח מספר. אתה לא מזהה שאני קורבן חטאת? אני קודם לכולכם. Now, let's talk.
אתה לא קודם לכולם, חטאת. שכחת שאני אשם מצורע. תמיד לפניך.
Why are you like You mean when the machutz, if he comes first, and then some guy outdoes him, the Oilam is so excited. You say, yeah. There's a tremendous simcha g'dayla. Knocked him out. The Oilam can understand it. Okay. Wow. Amar Avonu Mesura. Tashma. Shlamim Shalemesh. The shlamim that came yesterday, and we shechted it today. Chatas Vadim Shal Yoim, and the chatas came today. Shlamim is from yesterday, it's Kachim Kalam. Chatas is Kachim, but it came today. Shalemesh Kachim Shal Yoim. Now the Gemara says in the Daik, Ha the Yoim Dumin the Emesh. But what if it came today? The chatas came today, but it'll be similar to yesterday. What's the case? The Kachim Shachted Shlamim Chatas. The Kachim Shachted Shlamim. First he shechted the Shlamim. Chatas Vadim Shal. It's only because it came yesterday that we say the shlamim should come first. But if shlamim came today and you messed up and you shechted the wrong one first, so that's our case, that you have tadir, you have shlamim, and kadosh together at the same time. Chatas v'ashim kadmi. We prove from here that the kadosh comes before the tadir if you messed up and you jumped the gun and you shechted the wrong one. Says Gemara, no, your diuk isn't good because we can say a different diuk. Dilma shlamim de'emish v'chatas v'ashim de'yoim hechim mishkachsla d'shachtinu tarvayu. Maybe the reason why chatas comes first is because you shechted both. In the case that you shechted the chatas also. But if you didn't shecht both, you only shechted the shlamim, maybe you would have a shayla because you jumped the gun. Now what do you do? Tashma dover acher. Because I had to do like we had before. Yeah, but we're going to bring a different raya. We had this before that what? That the bracha on the wine to dira, ubirkis hayoyim and to dira, it comes before the bracha on Shabbos. Mekadosh Shabbos comes after Boyer Pri Hagafen. The Tadir Shein is Tadir Kaidim. But Shabbos came before wine. Why did Shabbos come before wine? Because it's Shabbos. Shabbos came in, you're Mekadosh the day, so the day came before you even came up to the wine. And what do you do? So what do you see? That even though Shabbos came first, the Tadir, well, we're saying that you should do tadir. You should do wine first. So by us also, even though you jumped the gun, you did the tadir instead of doing the other one. I'm sorry, you did the not tadir first. You should do the tadir first. Why? Just like you see by Shabbos. Shabbos came first, yet you brought wine in here. You should do the wine first. Says Gemara, Chinami kimin da asyan kiman d'shchiti tarbayu dami. But at the end of the day, we're going to view it as if they're both in front of us. Like we said before, like a shlamim and chatas, they're both shechted. If the shlamim and chatas are both shechted, what's the halacha? This we have to get into our head. If you have the two things in front of us, then for sure the tadir comes first. The whole shaila is if you shechted the other, there's only one shechted, what do you do first? The halacha is that you should daven, if you have mincha and musaf, you missed the time of Musaf, and the Musaf went into Mincha time, you should daven Mincha first. Musaf came first. Musaf came first. The same answer you said before. We're not going to look at it as if Musaf came first and then came Mincha. We're going to look at it as if they're both in front of us right now together. What do you do? And Allah is, you do Mincha, you do Tadir first. It's as if you have a shechted chatas and shlam in front of us. If you shechted the carbon Pesach in the wrong time, pasul. It's before Chatzos, pasul. Torah says you shouldn't shechted before Chatzos. But what if you shechted it after Chatzos? But you jumped the gun. Here's our case. You shechted the carbon Pesach, which has more kedusha, before the carbon Tamid, which is what you're supposed to do, the Tamid first, and you shechted the carbon Pesach first, kosher. It's kosher. This is a mefurish raya that if you jump the gun, you shechted the carbon Pesach before the Tamid, you continue with the Tamid. You sit there and mix the blood. You mavir around mitzvahs. You go past you ignore the carbon Pesach and you do what you're supposed to do. Not a good raya. My skin can go in the kaddim shechted the Tamid. No. Once again, you have two shechted animals in front of you. You have a Tamid shechted and a Pesach shechted. What you do in that case, always the Tadir wins. I can prove from the Mishnah. How do I know that both of them are shechted? Doesn't it seem a little bit doichak? It seems like you're making a doichak teretz. No, this is mamish l'chatchila teretz. Why? Because it says in the Mishnah, Achi Zorek Hadam. Meaning the only thing missing here is Zrikas Adam. Like it doesn't say you should shecht the Tamid. Raya Shmamina that they're both shechted in front of us. And what do you do when you have a carbon Pesach and a carbon Tamid in front of us? Both shechted, you always go with the Tadr V'shen and Tadr Kait. What? I do? Which is what? Forget that one. Okay, next. My time, why are the Koyanim allowed to do any recipe? Gdula, greatness. The Torah says, eat this meat, not like style, like a pauper, like a king. If you need special spices, what do you guys have in America? All these barbecue sauces and zachin, what are they called?
Montreal Stacey's.
Montreal Stacey's, oh, no, but there's one from South Africa the Olam really likes. No? Who? Barbecue? I'm not a maven. Oh, smoked meat. They had a little smoker in the business. Okay. Reb Shimon. Says Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon and Reis, so Shemin Shum Mischalik Ba'azara. If you see oil being given out in the Azara, Rabbi said, not talking about. Lo daber shama b'vakasha. If you see oil that's being given out in the Azara, ain't tzorich lishol mahu. Don't ask any questions. Don't just you could have from it. Why? Ela moiser kiki menachas Yisrael. This must be the leftover from a mincha v'Yisrael. V'loik shemen shel mitzayra. So it's kedai to remember. This you see oil given out in the Azara. If you see oil given out on the Mizbeach, you also don't have here. Check this out. Very nice. They're giving out oil, free oil in the. This almost.
מה זה השמן הזה?
מה הבעיה במה ששאלתי? לא יודע שרבי שמעון אמר שאין לשאול למה מחלקים שמן בעזרה?
אבל למה?
זה כבר שאלה שנייה שלך. ורב אלי מרשה לשאול רק שאלה אחת כל שיעור.
For those Americans who didn't understand, they yelled at him for asking questions. This is why you ask. That's your second question. You're not allowed to ask two questions in the share. Give Ali. Okay, so you don't ask questions. It says over here. If you see oil, don't ask what hechsher it is. It's good oil. You can drink from it. Neither if you see the oil given out on the mizbeach, this is the seifa. Ain't tzorich lishol mahu. Don't worry about it. So Rashi explains over here that when you make when the kohen brings, he brings it with 3 lug of oil. It's a tremendous amount of oil. It's never going to bake itself well. So you take the extra, you take off the extra, and you throw it onto the mizbeach. Shame is not Hashem. You don't have to worry about it. This is not coming from an adava. This is good stuff. Kohanim could eat it. You could give an adava shemen, and therefore it's problematic. If you could give shemen, so maybe you shouldn't be eating the shemen. Says the Gemara Daf Tzadik Gomel Beis. Wow. So how we have 3 minutes to do this? Not a problem. We have 2 minutes. Adar Global going global to be Mechazik Deli satellite locations. Stephen Schwartz, the initial is my parents, Million J. Schwartz, former owners of Ardas Deli in Lakewood, New Jersey. Omer Shmuel. Ledibri Reb Tarfin, I'm Snad Shemen, Koim Tzoy Visharv Nechalim. Boys, you hear this crazy stuff? You have a whole bowl of oil. Somebody brought in a bowl of oil. There's a minimum. The Gemara is going to say there's a minimum. You put your hand into the oil. Kmitza time for oil. It's a liquid. Doesn't matter. Rashi says you go like this, you take that, you put it on the mizbeach. Tais says it makes no sense. Why are you going like this? Tais says it's congealed. Fine. Shalom Aleichem over there. What's your name? So from where? Fine. Shalom Aleichem. I'm happy I got you like with one. What? Behind. Oh, what's your name, Taco? From where? Toronto. Shalom Aleichem. Yivaldik. Thank you for coming. My time, Korban Mincha. You're allowed to bring a gift of oil to the Beis Hamikdash. And the Gemara continues, Mincha has the same halacha of a mincha. Just like a mincha, you do kmitza and you put it on the mizbeach, and the leftover you eat it. So too, oil, you could eat it. So you have a shiloh over here. Do you eat it or you put it on the mizbeach? Machlokes a little bit. We'll see. Omer B'Zeira. So now we have a machlokes between Reb Zeira and Abaya. Omer B'Zeira. You could bring a raya from the Mishnah. Omer Reb Shimon says in our Mishnah, remember, here, I'll just throw it on the screen here so you can follow. The Reisha says, if you see oil in the Azara, it must be that it's oil that comes from the leftover of a mincha, because you can't give an adava. And therefore, what? If you can't give an adava, the halacha is equals mischalik. You're allowed to give it out. Yeah, that's all. Lishol mao. You don't have to ask what it is. This is leftover from a mincha. You can't give it an adava. According to Reb Tarfon, that says at the end of the Mishnah that you could give it a adava mischalik. It's divided between people. I'll bring the exact opposite raya from the Seifa. What does it say in the Seifa? Not in the Azor. You see oil going on the Mizbeach. You don't have to ask what it is. It must be the leftover from the Mincha of the Kohen. Because you can't just give an adava. The raya that Reb Zeir says is that if you say that it's in dava, then everything is in the dava. The whole thing is in the dava. Nothing goes on the mizbeach. And over here, if you see a little bit going on the mizbeach, the whole thing should go on the mizbeach. So which one is it? If there's in the dava, does the whole thing go on the mizbeach, or does the whole thing get divided up? According to Reb Zeir, the whole thing gets divided up. According to Abaye, the whole thing goes on the mizbeach. But what does Abaye do with Reb Zeir's raya, and what does Reb Zeir do with Abaye's raya? They're identical rayas. Just one is from the Reish, one is from the Seifa, and we have an opposite outcome. Abaye kashi Reish, Reb Zeir kashi Seifa. Says the Gemara, Bishleim Reb Zeir Reish b'shirayim Seifa b'koymet. According to Reb Zeir, I can say a very simple answer. There's dividing up and not dividing up. According to Reb Zeir, think about it. When you bring a koymet, there's a kmitza. Where does that go? Nobody can eat a kmitza. Kmitza always goes on the mizbeach. The leftover is you give it out. So Reb Zeir is going to say that the Reisha is talking about what I bring a raya, says Reb Zeir, is talking about the leftovers. That's why I could divide it. The Seifa that's mashra that says it goes on the fire, because that's one little part called the kmitza. But Abaye that starts from the Seifa and says that everything goes on the fire. Wait a minute, from the Reisha's mashma that not everything goes on the fire. There's a little bit that you give out. What do you give out? The whole thing goes on the fire. Says the Gemara, a wild thing here. Tana Reisha atu Seifa. The Reisha is not meduyik. Don't bring any raya from the Reisha. If you look, it's the same exact words. In Marisa Shemen, the only difference is where. One says Azar, one says Ishim. So the Reisha, I just put it in there not because it's accurate, because it mimics the Seifa. And I want to have a Mishnah that is easy to remember. So I'm going to say the same words in the Reisha and the Seifa. The problem with that is that's a teretz that we use sometimes in Shas. When you have a Reisha that's good, and the Seifa is problematic, I say, you know what, the Seifa we just did because of the Reisha. But I never start the Reisha bad or not accurate because there's something in the Seifa. A lot of times you say the end of the Mishnah, even though it's not accurate, because it mimics the Reisha. Did I ever find that you say a Seifa that's accurate, and the Reisha is not accurate, and I do it because of the Seifa? Yes, we do it. I remember, but on the Reisha from Seifa. Yes, and I actually said there's such a thing. Where do we go to? Where is this? Let me just see. Okay, we'll stop over here. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.